Not inspecting every single batch and segment can be a critical mistake. Believe me, I have done that quite many times, and sometimes it has worked out fine and sometimes it has had like critical, devastating situations. Because if you don't have a quality inspection for every segment, then it might lead to all sorts of issues and headaches. So to avoid all these headaches, it's definitely best practice to have a quality inspection for every single batch that you send out from the supplier. But what is it that you should actually check in those inspections? I mean, there are many different things, and of course it depends on the products, but what are some common things that you should check out for? That's what I'm going to be discussing in this video. Hit a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to get new tips every week. Today we are going to talk about quality inspections and how to write the requirements for the inspection company. So, because once you hire an inspection company, I mean, they expect a certain support from you, because they need to know what is it that they should actually be inspecting. And much of it actually depends on the product. So different things have to be checked from different products, but there's still some stuff that are pretty much applicable to all the products. And also there's questions that you should be asking for every single product. But let's just start. So we basically have this SOP like template. So this is actually made for our employees, and the case is usually like when we are launching a new product, the employees need some kind of a template that they start working on. So, I mean, as soon as you had one inspection, as soon as you done inspection for the product once, then I mean, obviously you're going to be using that requirements document all the time. But for a new product, when you don't have anything, then you just need to they start working on this template and start writing different requirements that the inspection company should be looking at. So yeah, let's take a look at this document. So can you still see my screen, or can you see this document? Step by step pre-shipment inspection. So as a reminder, this is made for our employees. So this is the baseline, this is the template that the employee starts working on when they start writing this requirements document for the quality inspections for the product. So the purpose why we are doing this or doing inspection is that to make sure our suppliers understand our requirements on each and every order, and they understand that if these issues will not be improved, we are destined to find a new supplier. And typically every supplier wants like long-term relation with the buyer, meaning that they actually want to do a good job. They actually want to deliver like high deliver on the quality that you are setting. So that's why we just need to make it clear that what are our guidelines. And if you say high quality in China, and then that doesn't really mean anything, because the question that they are be asking is that, okay, high quality for what purpose? Like how demanding are the customers? So, and especially since we are selling in the Western world, mainly like markets like US and Europe, typically the customers are pretty demanding. So it's completely different thing selling products, for example, here in the Middle East versus in US. The expectations are completely different. So yes, so this is an SOP, and it also gives like guidance for our employees, okay, how they actually should write the requirements document. So they're going to be creating a document for these inspection requirements. And I mean, if it's a new product, then again, we come back to this blueprint. So the perfect product blueprint for possible complaints, product contents, dimensions, and other important like product information. And when you have the perfect product blueprint, I mean, it already has information about the reviews and what other people have been complaining about the competitors and so on. So when you do this document for once, I mean, you should also, I mean, that's pretty much the baseline for a lot of things. It's a baseline for copywriting, for images, for even doing these quality inspections. And yeah, I mean, if it's an old product, this is what I mean, that it's not, this is not really like set it and forget it, because once you launch a product to the market, and even if you have been selling it for years and years, still, I mean, new issues tend to pop up. So this means that when the batch is inspected, so our employee needs to go to Amazon and go to Seller Central, check out like, okay, what are the stuff that people are complaining about? Like, why are we getting refunds? Like why are we getting complaints? So that's what I mean, that it's not really like a one-time thing. Okay, then they basically just send an email to the inspection company, and usually it has to be like 3 days in advance, and then send the requirements document to the company. And then the supplier will be notified that this certified inspector will be assigned to the factory. And the inspection usually includes factory visit, checking the unit count, workmanship check for appearance, color, material, style, contents, on-site test for the sturdiness of the shipping cartons. And they do a drop test, which means they pick up the carton and just drop it on the ground and see what happens. And then they have different kind of stress and safety test on the products. And here it comes back to like, what kind of products are you selling and what kind of certificates and requirements you have. For example, it's completely different thing selling something like, for example, electronic item, or something that has batteries, or something for like babies or children and so on. Then they also check out the like external appearance, the actual cartons, and then the measurements of these products and packages and so on. Then different kinds of labels, because if there's an issue with these FNSKU labels, then Amazon is not going to be happy. So they need, every time they check these shipping labels and they check out these labels on individual products. And usually after the inspection is done, you get the report within like 24 hours. And then this is the really important thing. Well, okay, if the inspection fails, then what happens then? The result is sent to the supplier, and at this point there's basically two options. You just ask for a refund and this just discontinues your shipment, because it might be that I mean, it's just way too many issues. I mean, it's like a nightmare in trying to get I mean, we cannot sell this is just garbage. Or then it's about, if it's not that huge big of a thing, then it's okay, let's just talk with the supplier how we can fix all the issues and how we can improve the product quality or whatever issues there are. Yeah, and important to note that, I mean, you can negotiate with the supplier to pay for the second inspection, because I mean, we just wanted to send inspection once, but because I mean it didn't pass, I mean it's basically on you. So now we have to send the same inspection again. So then it's a case of, okay, usually the supplier pays for it. But if the inspection passes, then it's about just arranging to ship the products right away. So here some of the stuff that you need to be there. So product name, material, dimensions, weight, country of origin, and you need to make this visible also in the, will usually be added on the FNSKU label or the packaging. Then you add like these different kind of photos about the product, so that the inspection company gets as clear picture what it is. Because you need to consider that, I mean, these people, they have never maybe even seen this product. I mean, they have never even, it might take them a while to figure out, I mean, what is this product? Like, how do you use it? Like, do you need to press here or press there? Like, how do you use this product? So it needs to be really crystal clear to them before they go to the supplier. And ideally, you should give them samples, like what is acceptable quality. What do you expect? What kind of product quality do you expect? And then just the supplier details, the dates, and so on. And then individual things about the shipment, like the units per case, number of cases, weights, dimension, and so on. And here the employee is going to list specific things that should be checked, and including like photos. And yeah, it's really good idea to like list out potential issues, because then they know what they should be checking. Because if you see that competitors have all these different complaints, then I mean, you should definitely check out those things. And typically we also ask like different kind of videos, how they're using the product and about the facilities and all that stuff. And then, I mean, inspection photos and so on. And then this is just information how the inspection company can contact the employee. But yeah, let's just deep dive into these inspection reports. Or any questions at this point?
I have a question. I have been thinking that if the product has constant quality issues, which you have already seen that it's happening, of course we can ask the factory to remove these. But how about if you take the quality checker before the packing over there and just check all the products for these faults and throw away the bad units and then let them pack the rest, and then they produce new ones?
Yeah, I mean, you can do that. You can do inspections during the manufacturing process, and we have done it like many times, like when we made like bigger orders. For example, when we order like 100,000 units, what we are going to be doing is that the inspection company is going to be going there, like once they have certain items ready, they're just going to check for those, and they ship it out, and then and so on. So even though it's one big order, they still are going there in multiple occasions. Yes, so let's look at the inspection. Yeah, I mean, we already covered that. It includes factory visit, checking the unit count, cases, measurements, and the appearance, color, materials, style, contents. And also, I mean, this sturdiness. So, I mean, if it's a really dirty place, dirty factory, then it's quite likely that there's going to be some dirt in the product as well. And you can imagine the disappointment that your customer will feel when they open the product packaging, take out the product, and there's some dust in it or on it or something like this, or it just looks dirty. So that's why this.
There's also this, if it looks dirty, they might say to the Amazon that I think this product is used and it's sold as new.
Yeah,
that's really dangerous to your account.
Yes, that's a big violation. So, and same thing, I mean, like imagine like you take out the product to your in your hands, and it smells like there's a weird smell on it, or it just smells bad. So that's really a negative experience for the customer. So we want to avoid all that. So that's why the inspection company needs to check all that stuff. And yeah, labels. And then you can also request any kind of additional things from the inspector. But I mean, typically they send photos and videos and whatever makes you comfortable, like whatever you need. So let's talk about this. Yeah, so typically they send it out to you like after, within 24 hours. And yeah, they send all this stuff, product drop test, photos. So here's some example of photos. So what they are doing here is that they are weighing it to make sure that it matches whatever they have the requirements say. Because if it's different, then that's going to be a bit of an issue. And then on the right, you can see that they are doing this drop test. So they just pick it up and drop it on the floor and see what happens. And sometimes, if you're not working with like solid supplier, like some of these brokers or bedroom factories, as they call it, they might just use low quality, well, not really low quality, but used cardboards, which means that they are not going to be protecting your products well. So that's going to be a bit of an issue during the transit. Yes, Margaret, did you have a question or comment?
Yeah, I have had experience several times that my factory doesn't allow to do the drop test because it still can deform the products as well. And at least until now, I have been okay for that. That they say that, we don't support this test. And I haven't had any problem with the used cartons and these kind of things, but you have experienced that they always allow to do it.
Well, okay, let's say if you're selling some glass or some really delicate items, then I could imagine that they wouldn't recommend doing that drop test. But
but you do it all the time for your products.
Yeah, we haven't really had any issue with that, because you also need to consider that what is the strain and stress that these products are going to experience during transit. During this shipping. So of course it depends on the product, like how easily can it be damaged, but so that means that what kind of how delicate it is, how delicately they need to handle it. But typically, we haven't really had any issues of suppliers saying that they are not fine with us doing a drop test. So, but what is the reason that they are the supplier is saying this?
I have got the impression that the outer carton still can deform, and that I don't know that these drop tests are made performed exactly the same way everywhere. I don't know. Maybe also there are some different kind of how they throw the boxes. I don't know.
Yeah. But I'm sure all of us have seen some horrible videos from FedEx, UPS, when they just throw this.
Yeah.
So
I have been using Kima inspection company all the time, and I'm really satisfied with their work otherwise. So.
All right, cool. But yeah, they are not going to do it for every single box. I know they just take out some random box there and then just drop it and see what happens. And you can see here on the left that they are scanning these different barcodes to make sure that it's readable and it actually works. And then here is the check for the odors. So they smell it to see that does it actually smell like it is supposed to, or is there something weird, or is there something unpleasant? Because it would be so unpleasant for the customer if there's a weird smell on it. And then there's a picture of the facilities. So factory door view, just taking some photos outside, and then they're going to be taking photos and videos of actually using the product. So this is not our product. This is just some random bag as just as an example. But the point is that they are actually going to be using the product and trying it out to make sure that it matches that basically nothing breaks. So I mean, if there's zippers, then they're going to be opening the zippers. And here you can see that when it's a bag, they are going to fill the bag with something and shake it and whatever makes sense for the product. So then they within 24 hours they give you a report saying details basically the result of the inspection. So let's take a look what it says here. So just first of all some details and then about the product. So what was the quantity, what was the shipment quantity, and how much they actually sampled. And here it says like okay, they didn't have any sample available, but it's much better if you can send them like acceptable quality like sample, so that they first of all know what to how is it supposed to look like and how it's supposed to work, and then they can also like compare the color and compare the texture and whatever. So here this is just a summary. So here we can see that there are checking quantity, style, material, color, workmanship, appearance, function, packaging, marking, labeling, data measurements, and clients, any kind of special requirements that you might have. And then they just mark, okay, what passed, what failed, what is pending or not available, and what kind of remarks. So then here you can see these different kind of remarks. So quantity, you can see that they're saying different kind of remarks that okay, during inspection there isn't being approval sample for reference, so they could not judge on this aesthetic material of the product, and there's no labels on the cartons, and 500 pieces they took out 50 pieces, of which like 45 pieces are qualified but 5 pieces are not qualified. So there was some kind of issue with these 5 units. So it's basically they're saying that okay, they sold these defective units to the factory and recommend for replacement or repairing. So in this case, it's basically failed due to these remarks. So then it's up to you as the client to say that okay, is this acceptable? I mean, can they ship this out, or do they need to fix something, or will you actually completely reject this? But I mean, typically, I don't think we have ever had a case where we would have abandoned the whole batch. Usually, it's been case that okay, there's some issues, so they fix all of it, and then the inspection company comes again, and I think in some cases I think we have even like third time the same inspection company for the same batch. So this was a supplier or batch that had a lot of issues, but I mean in those cases the supplier was just willing to fix all of it, so we weren't left with any like low quality items or anything like this. Yes, so I mean we have used a lot of these inspection companies through the years. Currently we are using this Kernel inspection company, and there's a couple of questions for them, so to see that okay, what makes them stand out from the rest of the inspection companies. So let's see what they answer. So yeah, blah blah, they're saying it, they're efficient, professional, and cost effective. And this is a good thing that they are basically distributed in most industrial cities in China, which means that because in China you always need to consider that what is the location of the factory, and it might take quite a bit of time for the person or for the inspection company to go there, especially if it's in the middle of nowhere. So, for example, this place has like these offices in most industrial cities, and they have their own laboratory to test these different characteristics of products, moisture of wood, stainless steel, and they offer like different types of services, factory audit, for a full product check, online check, finished product inspection, loading check, quality insurance training. And they typically charge like for one man day, meaning one inspector, so it's like less than $200, and then it's based on these different standards of this testing. And yeah, they send out the report within 24 hours and do these inspections, and it takes like 8 hours, and sometimes, I mean, it can take a long time, I mean several hours just to go to the supplier if it's really like in the middle of nowhere. So here are here's the pricing list for this company, and typically, I mean, it's pretty much the same for, I mean, it's just around like $200 or less than $200. So that's pretty much like standard rate for one day of inspection. So here you can see it's different kind of regions, and the pricing means here that, okay, if you have less than 5 product inspections per month, then the price is $180. If you have more than 5, then it's $150. And yeah, here's a bit of Chinese humor. So this is not the typo of Monday. What they mean is the man day. So one man day, one full day for one inspector. And this company works so that, I mean, when you use them, you can basically pay them once per quarter through wise.
How long is Chinese man day? In Finland, it's 7.5 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't mean that they only inspect on Mondays. It's Chinese man days. Who knows how long Chinese man day is?
I think it's a little bit different from European 8-hour working day.
Well, yeah, I mean, in China, I don't know. I mean, they work like easily like 10, 12 hours per day, and even on Saturdays. They are not afraid to work hard and long. Work hard and long hours. All right, it's pretty much it. Any questions or comments?
Thanks, this was super. Do you share us the document you were showing?
Yes, so you will get the slides, and then here you can have this template that our employees are using as a template when they order an inspection for a new product.
I have one question. What kind of experiences are you having if you have had, for example, one good supplier or factory, and then they have already shipped many times your products? Do you have always this kind of inspection, or have you had like problems that they suddenly their quality is going down?
Well, what I have noticed pretty much in like when you order stuff from China or from the suppliers, I mean, let's say that you don't do any inspection. But let's say the first batch is fine, second batch is fine, then third batch, oh, there's some issues, and fourth batch, wow, it's terrible. So I mean, I noticed that it just the quality tends to go down quite a bit. So that's one reason Even if you're not doing the inspections, you should at least tell the supplier that I'm going to be doing the inspection for every single batch. And if there's any kind of issues, or if we get any kind of complaints from customers, then we need to take those into consideration for future orders. So that's why I really recommend in checking every single batch, because the quality just tends to deteriorate.
Okay.
Yes, I must tell an example. We had one product which launched really well, and it sold really well. But then there came this one production that had a lot of problems with the product. So we went during a month. We went from 4.5 stars to 4.1 stars, and it shows only 4 stars in the listing, which kind of like ate the product. And yeah, we should have done the quality check each time and for each production. It's also when you start comparing, when you have thousands of units and you start comparing how many refunds did you actually give back to the customers, how much you used for the shipping and all this stuff. It's quite easy if you can spend this $200 per inspection for the production. You will save probably at least $1,000. So depending on the size you're ordering, of course. But yeah, it's super important. I would recommend everybody to inspect each production.
Yes, and it's always good to, keep of course, we need to build good relationship with the suppliers, but at the same time, we need to keep them on their toes. That, we have certain quality standards for the products, and our brand stands for this and that, and we offer this kind of customer experience and loyalty and those kind of things for our customers. So we expect that there isn't any defective units at all, pretty much. But yeah, it's just imagine the cost that you will have, first of all, getting the product to Amazon, and then additionally, you need to refund the item for the complainer. So just double the amount that you had, and then additionally, if you had some if you get a negative review, how much do you need to spend in order to fix that issue? It's not only about money, it's also about time. And then do you need to do some kind of, do you need to give out products for free just to compensate for it? For the testing out the products. So and it's only for one unit, one product, one negative review. So how much effort and money do you need to spend on that? Versus if it's a whole batch, 1,000 units or whatever, and it's just $150. Then it's really a no-brainer that just inspect every single batch. It's gonna be definitely much cheaper. Make sense? Hit the thumbs up if you like this video and subscribe to the channel. Let me know, are you doing quality inspection for every single batch? Have you had any issues? Do you know what to check out? If you are selling on Amazon, then I have plenty of free resources for you. I have a Facebook group that you can join, and I also have free courses that you can go through. But if you need any help selling on Amazon, then click the link to apply for a free strategy call with me. You just book a time for the calendar and fill the application, and then we can talk. See you soon.